All right, much shalom and aloha to everybody out there. We got a long Patrick Devine video. It's like an hour and a half, but I have to cover a couple of things. I really felt moved to cover some stuff. This is some more dealing with keeping your butt from being prosecuted, falsely prosecuted. Through these banks. I'm going to explain what these a little bit more about what's going on with these banks, what they are. I'm going to explain some processes that you can use. A lot of this process I'm going to just scan over tonight, but I'm going to show you where to find the details in the files where I've made some detailed files over the years on how to find it, what to say, what to do from the process, right from the get-go, some things like that. Okay, so we're going to start off with this. You're all in the military. I don't know if you know it or not, but this is you are. They got you in the military. All right, so what ended up happening was they had a contract called the original Constitution, and they had rules that they had to obey. So what they do? They made an offer. Oh, well, we're not going to follow that because that's just too much. We're going to make a 14th Amendment citizen that we can enslave you, and this is our offer, that this is the Constitution, that we have the authority to change that. Well, they don't have the authority to do jack, squat, diddly, what. All right? But if you accept their offer, guess what? That's how a contract works. Contracts can be changed. All right, if you accept them, if you haven't already claimed that original contract, or if you haven't claimed another contract that's older and more powerful. I always say, the Baptists have a wall of separation from the Constitution, but it binds them to the First Amendment, and the First Amendment says everything. You're nothing. You don't get to jack with us at all. We got a wall of separation between us and you. We're a separate organization. We're a state unto ourselves, the Baptists. No other organization has that. No other organization has anywhere where there's a contract that that they have the First Amendment rights. I've read where the temple. That is a corporation under the United States claiming that they're a religion because it's a social thing. That's BS. Nowhere in there they claim that they have constitutional rights, but people assume and presume, and that's how they spread the lie. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to go a little more deep in detail about that on another video. I love you, brothers, sisters out there that are into the Moor thing. I understand. Moors have blessed me, taught me. I have to send blessings to them, but I also have to send, hey, look, man, here's a heads up, my brother, my cousins. Let me show you what I've been finding. Now, here's one of the things that I found. All right, the military. This is Louisiana. This is Louisiana Revised Statute. And you can see it right there, Louisiana Revised Statute. Sorry, my original camera is kind of out. My modem's been out. Everything went out. So they just been messing with me a little bit, maybe. Who cares? You just keep on rolling. I got a brand new computer. I had to get a brand new modem, and I'm having to deal with a different camera. So they don't want you to find out what I'm sharing. It's powerful. And if that right there makes me feel good. All right, so let's start off with this. The military department of this state, see, it's small s state, shall be known as the military department, comma, state of Louisiana. All right. Now, if you look up the Louisiana military departments, you're going to find out that it's an all capital. It's not upper and lowercase, and there is no comma. So guess what? The one that everybody signs up to, contracts to, that isn't this one, because that little comma makes a big difference. All right. So you contract to join the military department without a comma, state of Louisiana, you're contracting to join a private organization that doesn't have nothing to do with this. All right. It's conning you. They're conning you. Who is the commander-in-chief? The commander-in-chief, the governor of the state, small s, by virtue of his office shall be the commander-in-chief of the militia of the state. You know, all these people are talking about, oh, well, we're going to join a militia. Man, there's already a militia, idiot. If you know contract law, then you know how, what to do, and you know who your commander-in-chief would be. And he can't respond. That's like having a boss that can't ever answer. Hey, boss, can I have off tonight? Oh, good. Okay, great. Hey, look, boss, will you work for me instead of me doing this shift? Oh, great. You know, that's how you handle this guy. if you understand contract law. All right, militia. This is section 3. All able-bodied persons, all right, persons between ages of 17 and 64 residing in this state, small s, and who are not exempt by the laws of the United States of America. Is that the laws of the United States? No, the laws of the United States of America. So that means you can't have contracted your right to be in the United States of America away by being in the United States in order for this to apply, or of this state constitution, the militia of the United States are not subject to military duty. So who is not subject to military duty? It's the people who are under the laws of the United States of America or the state constitution. Now, for Louisiana, the real state constitution is, I think it's 1852. But most people don't even know that. That's the only one that was ratified. The rest of them are just suggestions. All right, they haven't been ratified. Those, you know, oh, our state constitution is a 1970 bull malarkey. All right, so how do you give up your right of being under the laws of the United States of America and become under the laws of the United States? Well, you have to be, because the United States, as we covered, is a private corporation that was formed in 1871. All right, and it's a Catholic corporation. It's a Catholic. It's the Antichrist and the false prophet, the Catholic and the crown. Okay, so how do you do that? All right, well, what they do is they get you to become a receiver of service for a vessel of the United States. All right, this is Title 18, Section 9 of the USC. Vessels of the United States defined. The term vessel of the United States, as used in this title, means a vessel belonging in whole or in part to the United States. That's one definition. You know how on a word they have several definitions of what that word can mean? Well, that's what this is. All right. What is the second definition? Any citizen thereof. Thereof what? Thereof the United States. So a citizen of the United States is, guess what? Is a vessel of the United States. You know you can never be a citizen of the United States because that's a person. A person's an entity. So it can't be you. But a citizen of the United States is a vessel of the United States. Guess what else is a vessel of the United States? Any corporation created or under the laws of the United States. So guess what? The Moorish Temple is a corporation under the laws of the United States, isn't it? Oh, so the Moorish Temple is a vessel of the United States. Well, welcome to the army. Yeah, come on, sign on in, jump up from the frying pan into the fire. Or any state, territory, district, or possession thereof. Possession of the United States, corporate. All right, vessel of the United States. All right, so they have you as a working for a vessel of the United States. How do they go about doing that? All right, that's under Rule 19. Required joinder of parties. What does it say here? A required party, a person who is subject to the service of process and whose joinder will not deprive the court of subject matter jurisdiction, must be joined as a party. All right. So how do you, what does it say? It says you must be joined if you are subject to service of process. So how do you become service of process? You're the receiver of service and process. You got your address down there to receive service and process for a vessel of the United States, which is your citizen, all capital name. All right, so how do they go about doing that? How they go about doing that? Now, one thing before we get too far along in that, I also want to cover Rule 19. If you do not deprive the court of subject matter jurisdiction. Well, let's look at this right here, what I got. All right, I've got a United States tax court. This is Washington, D.C. This is you see my all capital vessel? All right. Against two, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue. All right, and what do I have an order? Order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. This is the top tax court stating that they don't have jurisdiction over this vessel no more. Ooh, I may show y'all how to get this. This is what you would need to put in for, I'm sorry, I'm challenging jurisdiction. How many people go on there? I'm challenging jurisdiction. Do you have one of these? No, you don't. So there you go. Now, there's a bunch of ways. Jonah Bay shows you how to do change a name, change a nationality, all that. Man, I don't want to do all that. That's my state you messing with right there. Not only the vessel, but that vessel belongs, man, I'm not changing that. But that's him. That's not me. There's a bunch of ways that a person can do it. I'm going to show you one. I'm going to show you this one later on, probably along the way. If we are all blessed to be able to do it. All right, here's another way that you can not be the receiver of service. When you go get a driver's license, when you go get a bank account, anything that has to do with the vessel of the United States, the all capital name. So from now on, when you think vessel of the United States, think all capital. Now, I'm going to tell you this right here. Look it up on the Knights Sovereign Diplomatic Mission file, and this is called the Titanic Opinion. All right, and it's a conceptual wreck, salvaging the laws of fines. Okay, so this is the scheme that they're working in this court. You're not going to hear these judges talking about, oh, this is an estate, or you're going to hear them talk about state organization. You're either the defendant or you're representing the defendant. All right, you're either stupid enough to think you're the defendant or you're representing the defendant because we got you registered as the receiver of service. Are these cops? Are these police? No. We already went over that. In order to be a sheriff, in order to be a police officer, you must work for a political subdivision, which is tax exempt. And they are not tax exempt, are they? We went over this watching another video. So what are they? They're going to go on this. You ask one of these officers, law enforcement officers is what they call them. What gives you authority to be stopping me? What are they going to do? They're going to point at that badge. Guarantee you, they're going to point at that badge. Why? And they go into that here. Because they are badge salvor officers. They are salvaging your vessel. They are pulling you over, seeing if you're an employee. You're a registered receiver of service and process for a state vessel of the United States. And if you are, guess what? You're an employee. You lost all your rights. Now you're a punk. Now you do what you're told, boy. All right. Now you do what you're told. All right. And so I'm going to show you how to get around that. Number one way to get around that is the signature game, 3-402. You need to read this. All right, I'll read over the impertinent part. If a person acting or purporting to act as a representative, all right, signs an instrument, that would be the bank information, that would be a electric bill, that would be a driver's license, a state ID, that would be instruments, okay? By signing either the name of the represented person, all capital, or the name of the signer, which most of the time it's the same name, the represented person is bound, all right, by the signature to the same extent the represented person would be bound if the signature was on a simple contract. Okay. And isn't that what y'all are doing when y'all get the driver's license? Y'all just sign a name on there. Okay. How do you stop this? It says right here. Number one, if the form of the signature shows unambiguously that the signature is made on behalf of the represented person who is identified in the instrument, the representative is not liable by the instrument. Okay, so that is what Patrick goes into. Now, this right here, if you look into it enough, they're going to say by the person, quote, agent. Okay. He says to put for, colon, the all capital name. And I state, not agent, but non-receiving agent. Okay, so how do you get the right to put non-receiving agent? Okay, I'm going to find that for you. And that is, take this job and shove it. Oh, yeah. I wrote this about January 4th, 2018. I just seen that there's a video out by, what's his name? Rob Ryder. He just now starting to get this. Oh, it's the fire. Yeah, Ken W. did this years ago. He did this years ago. He went private. This is going to show you exactly how to do this, okay? You're going to send in a bill. You're going to they're not going to pay it. You're going to say, "Hey, loser, you haven't paid your bills. I'm not working for you no more. You remove my name, remove my address, and I'm appointing you under the principles of the Power of Appointment Act, and I'm also going to appoint this notary here to your deputy notary to receive and send any and all correspondence and process, service and process for this organization as a foreign organization." Okay, so that's how you do it. And this is going to go into detail. So when you go to the files, you look for take this job and shove it in the files, and you read this. It's going to go into details. If you have any questions, give me a holler on there. We'll go over it. Okay, so you resign. So let's say now you've resigned, and like I said, you're gonna they pull you over. All right, on your driver's license. On your driver's license. Okay, you have not only is your signature for all capital name non-receiving agent, but you also put the address of the appointed receiving notary. Now, what I did was I did all this before I filed my civil law DBA, or assumed name, and so when I put in my assumed name, I put the Secretary of State as the receiver of service, registered receiver of service for that all capital deal. So I have it registered down there that, hey man, I've registered it with the Secretary of State. That's a registered receiver of service. You're it, baby, tag. And so they pull you over. Man, you've got, now, one thing you want to make sure is you go in there with a plastic pen or a plastic point. That's a small point, and you make sure you write that well, and then you make sure they don't shrink it on you so it can't be read, because they try to do that. But you're going to notice that, man, look, when I did this, I had long hair. They couldn't even use it, all right? It works, trust me. Okay, so you're no longer required to be joined to the party. So guess what? It's improper service. Sorry. Now, a lot of times, if you don't know what you're doing, they don't care. They'll still try to force you in there to be jacking with you. Now, what are they doing? Okay, so here's the process. Okay, so they don't have the ability. They'll say, "Oh, we got a warrant for you." Well, they don't have the ability to have a warrant. If you listen to one of the last tapes, I went into that. In order to have a warrant, you've got to be what is that? That would be rule. Man, I can't remember all these things. It deals with, you just look in one of the last videos, I went into deep into it, that it has to be a judge from a court of record, all right, that signs all warrants, all right, to be an official document, all right, an official record. I think it's Rule 402, I think, something like that. I'll have to look it up. And so what is it? Now, what they're calling, whenever you see warrant, just automatically replace it with writ of attachment, because that is what it is. And what does it say here? Release of plaintiff securities. The security required by the plaintiff, so they have to have, it is required that the plaintiff puts up security for the writ of attachment. Does it say a secured security? Oh, no, it doesn't, does it? What is the security they're putting up for that writ of attachment? It's their bar number, ain't it? It's everything they own, isn't it? Yes, it is, because they don't have a bond. Because nobody who's going to write a bond is stupid enough to write it for a pirate. all right, because they know they're criminals, or of sequestration shall be released when judgment is rendered in his favor and is affirmed on appeal, or when no appeal has been taken and the delay for appeal has elapsed. So when do they get their security? When all of it's said and done. So guess what? If their security is unsecured, you being as a party, a defendant, or a adverse party, you would have the right to secure that security, wouldn't you? Oh, yes, you would. And guess what? Did Patrick teach us how to do a non-UCC lien? Oh, yes, he did. So guess what you could do? You could do a non-UCC lien. How do you do that? You would register mail it to you. Oh, I because of this case number, docket number, blah blah blah. This plaintiff's blah 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 has put up his security. It is unsecured. Bar number blah blah blah. If you want to hire a private detective, pay him $25. Do a security, basically a credit check on him. Basically it's going to tell you everything, all his real property. If you do another $25, it'll do all his movable properties. You do it on him and the wife, and you can secure all that. Okay, what does it say down here? It says, what is the reasons, the grounds for attachment? Oh, is a non-resident who has no duly appointed agent for service of process within the state. So how important is it to appoint the Secretary of State? It's his duty to receive non-residents of the state or foreign state organizations stuff. As one of the duties, I have to pull that up. Maybe one time I'll do it, and that would remove his grounds for attachment. Okay, but if you want to attach it, okay, you want a writ of attachment, no problem. I want to secure your securities. Okay, let's make a deal. You want to prosecute anybody else while this is going on? Then freaking leave me the heck alone, fool. All right, excuse me, foolish person. I don't like to call people fool, but that's a bad thing. But you can also file, according to what Patrick, he goes into this, file a whistleblower process. I go into this too. I go in deep detail of how you get a W-9. All right. You look this up. 211 whistleblower process on the file in the Knights. Goes into how to get a W-9. How to file a 4506A. You also can file a 4506T, this, and put your their EI number, yours, and they'll tell you exactly how much they're charging your account or how much they have charged in the past. Okay? Then you can do a 13909 because they're pretending to be a tax-exempt organization. They're not. And then you can do a 3949, which he goes into, and that brings in the IRS sending a criminal complaint to the federal attorney general. Not you, that would be them. Okay, so if you're taken hostage, now I went into the fact that you don't want to give up your clothes. I already said that. Hopefully, I don't know. I've had a videotape this a couple times when the last video camera didn't work. But you definitely don't want to take off your clothes. I went into deep detail on that, on what PREA violation that would be if they tried to force it from you. So definitely put the charge on them so that way you can go after their unsecured securities. All right. And then this right here, when you go in there without your clothes, if that magistrate's stupid enough to bring you in there, these are some of the things you can bring up. 3-501B2. I demand the instrument under under the principles of 3-501B2. All right, and then you can ask I got a bunch of little questions, and there's a whole lot more than this. This is just touching the basis, but this gets into where they don't want none of this being brought up. All right, even in a star chamber, they don't even want the attorneys to hear stuff that I'm talking right here. Okay, so let's go over there. I want to make sure I covered everything. All right, bond in lieu of personal liability. All right, this is 26 USC 2032 AE11. Bond in lieu of personal liability. This is what makes the so-called prosecutor, judge, or court employees personally liable, because they never have a bond to bring these fake admiralty charges. No, they have securities, don't they? Okay. And your bond is bigger than theirs. So guess who's the boss? All right. And so you want to put up a bond. He shows you how to do private bonds, doesn't he? Okay, well, there you go. That would be a private bond you could put up. USFL shows you how to do public bonds, commercial bonds. If you want to go that route, all right, and he covers a lot of good stuff. USFL, you might have to pay for it, but hey, there you go. He does a lot of stuff that I'm way too lazy to get into. You also want to look up zero your account now. So look up zero your account on the file. You want to read this. This goes into basically how to file a 1099 OID, a 1096. Now, this is not everything, but it has a good explanation of how all this works. All right. You take that and you go into and you find, which one is it? Where you at? Oh, right here. Doc used for IRS release from charges. Now, I had a guy. All right, and like he said, authentication, you don't get paid with that. I don't know anybody. He's going to say that in this. That's bull. I know people who get paid with that. You're going to get it's basically you're going to get your tax exempt status. You're going to be able to write bonds and things like this. You're going to be able to, whatever bonds you write, you're going to be able to write off in taxes, and you're going to get that money back at the end of the year, the quarterly, however you want to file it. Okay, I'm not going to go into that right now. Maybe if you're lucky, I might go into that later. That just has to do with banking, and I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But it's out there. Find the people who are who know it. Look up Mr. Lou's paperwork. I might pull that up later. I think I mentioned in the past. He kind of goes into it a little bit too. USFL is going to go into it. I think he goes into it. I don't know. I think he goes somewhat into it for sure. Okay. I don't think he goes into the tax part. Now this right here is going to go into the tax part. All right. So I had a guy. His name was Steven. He had no arms, and he had gotten his authenticated birth certificate. Now, one thing, too, about the authenticated birth certificate and the DBA is I knew guys in the federal pen, 3 of them, they got out because they sued the warden in the International Court of Trade there in New York. All right, and the only way they were able to sue was because they had the authenticated birth certificate and they had their DBA. That gave them the holder of the title, okay? Let's see, that is, in the Titanic opinion, that made them the exclusive Salvadoran possession. You're going to read in here, how do you become exclusive Salvadoran possession? You've got to be the holder of the title and have standing to justify one's claim. How do you have standing? You have to have a DBA. You have to have an assumed name. How do you have the title? You have it authenticated. Okay, so there you go. And you put that in. You can also put that in a non-UCC claim as well. Okay, so Now, if you're going to send that authenticated birth certificate in to the Treasury, for him to hold that as a bond, for you to be able to write bills of exchange, because you're basically going to have to write a bond to represent the value of the lien that you have against that instrument. But you can get as many of those instruments authenticated as you want. Okay, and each one of them is very, 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 very valuable. Okay, all right, so. And we'll work that out as you go. Don't be anxious for no money. Get this mess down. You don't want to be like this. If you ain't got this, this is what you're going to be right here. Okay? All right, so this brother right here, it didn't matter. They had him in there for 3 months. All right, his mama called me. Oh, please help us. I was like, oh, Lord. Because he's a mess, man. I love him, but he's a mess, man. And so I said, okay. So the church decided they were going to assist him. All right. And they basically wrote this information here. Now, this right here is the verbiage used. They got some misspelling, this, that, and there's not too many, but there's a few. Read through it. You want to put this in a heading, like for putting in a court, except for the letter. that goes to the letter for instruction. This is the first one that you're gonna put. You're gonna put it as, kind of like if it was going to a court. But for me, I didn't put it like for a court. I put it for I didn't put the court's name. I put Laverne County Government, because that's their name, doing business as Laverne County Court of Common Pleas. So you want to find out the real name, do the W-9 of that court, and you want to put it, and then you want to put the EIN number. So I let them know, hey, man, I know you're not tax exempt, baby. And also, I let them know, hey, man, I filed a W-9, a 8281, a 1096, a 1099 OID, a 1040V, a 1040, a 4506A, a 211, a 13909, and a 3949, baby, on ya. Get ready, you're about to get a visit from the tax man. Oh, yeah. Whoo, he was out in 48 hours. He was out. It wasn't even 48 hours. I think it was 42 hours. He was just gone. He got him out of there quick. They told him, get the hell away from us. All right, so this right here, because they're filing 1099s claiming that you gifting this to them. Well, when you file this, baby, it lets the IRS know I didn't get, these people are committing fraud. They are not paying their taxes. And now they got to pay the taxes. They got to pay the fines. Oh, there's some crying going on. And this is all in the letter of the instructions. Don't you argue for me. I don't want you to argue because you're not in a court, ho. I want you to accept. Why do I want them to accept? Because in presentation, what do I do to stay in honor? I can either accept, or there's other things I can do. I can also, upon demand, a person whom is made, a person making the presentment must exhibit the instrument, giving reasonable identification. Well, they never identify themselves, do they? Okay? No, they don't want to, because they don't want you to know. Wouldn't the fact that they're not tax exempt be a part of the identification? Yes. So they have violated their presentment. They haven't presented it. Without dishonoring the instrument, the party to whom presentment is made may, return the instrument for lack of necessary endorsements. Did they endorse it? Do they have the authority to endorse it? Nope. Or refuse payment or acceptance for failure of the presentment to comply with the terms of the instrument or an agreement of the parties or other applicable laws or rules. The rules would be they didn't present it, okay, upon demand. The rules would be they don't have, because it goes into here, if it's a third party, they got to prove that they have the right to represent that third party. They claim they represent the state. Have they put anything on the record that they have the authority? Do they have a contract with the state to represent it? Do they have a power of attorney filed anywhere to represent the state? Do they have a tax exempt status on their organization to prove? Do they have a government information letter stating that they're instrumentality of government from the IRS? Oh, no, you sure don't. You lying hoes. You ain't nobody. So without dishonoring the instrument, I get to what? I get to return the instrument for lack of necessary endorsements. All right, so this is just some little fun things that, you really need to go. You need to read over all these things. You need to get to know this stuff. Before you talk about, I want to get paid. Show me how to get paid. Has anybody got paid? How you better keep your butt out of jail. Man, let me tell you, staying out of jail is worth more money than you know, especially if you're not a good fighter. Because let me promise you something. Man, look, you gonna fight. You go to feds, brah. You better be good. Man, the last fight I got into, I had to fight a Golden Glove boxer. I had to rip his nose off, but I've been trained since I was 12 in a Japanese dojo. All right? I'm on a different level. If you're not on that level, you just need to be watching your butt. Some of this may not be for you. That's a dangerous spot, man, to be into. You need to have angels. Know that you have angels that's going to be there with you. Powerful angels. And I pray that you do. I pray that your path be before you. I pray that the Holy Spirit comes and woos you to be correct, to have the Holy Spirit of love. Because remember, like I said, nothing without love is worth anything. because you will end up being held hostage as surety. Just as sure as we're sitting up here talking, they don't just give out their money, man. Show me how to get the money, man. I need to show you how to keep your butt out of jail. All right, and that's the one thing I didn't like about Patrick. Number two, I didn't like about Patrick. He's just wanting you to freaking become a priest of the whore of Babylon. He wants you to say that you've been baptized by the Catholics. Whoo, man, how is that gonna free you up? No wonder nobody was getting paid, man. Cole, oh, you got to be the squeaky wheel. No, you don't have to be the squeaky wheel. You just got to know your process, man. And so the first part of the process is be proper. Do not be a receiver of service for a state organization, a vessel of the United States. Resign your commission. Do not be a member of the military department, no comma, having state of Louisiana, or even military departments, comma, having state of Louisiana from the age of 17 to 64. You need to do something about this. When I do my DBA, I'd probably look this up and I would handle this. I am not working under the laws of I am under the laws of the United States of America. I'm an American. Because under the San Lorenzo El Real Treaty, guess what? The whores of Babylon, the canon law court signed. They said we will not affect American estates. So you definitely want to have an American state. And I hope this helps you. I hope this blesses you. I do this all in the name of El, by his authority and under his authority of Yahashua, Jehovah Elohim, the King Most High. Blessed be his name.
Oh, what is the minimum? Minimum stuff we need to mail out, and to whom?
It depends on what you're trying to do.
You got to listen to the calls. You got to listen to them 3 or 4 times. You'll know exactly what to do.
Well, but if you're trying to just pay off a mortgage or get a car, Patrick made that real easy. Just get the equivalent of bill, get the bill or the window sticker, and do the endorsement on the back.
Now I'm talking about getting out of the system.
So we talk about getting out of the system. You basically need to do the package, which is doing your UCC 1. There's a cover letter that goes with it. I'm not UCC 1, non-UCC, and registering it with yourself. Also doing the hospital record document and your baptismal certificate, again making it with your own files. And then there's the package you send to IRS Technical Services Division down in Washington, D.C. And at the lower left-hand corner of that is the list of all the attachments that you have to include. And as part of the UCC, now you have to take off all these contracts that you want to get rid of and put them as a page 2 of the non-UCC. And what I'm seeing on the Skype group is that the people really don't know what documents there are, and you need to go through the folder with all the documents, and for yourself come up with a sentence or two explaining the purpose of the document. People seem to be at a kind of loss. Now, in the current folders, there's, about 20 files, but 2 of the files are zip files. So you're going to have to expand those two files into a separate folder. And one of the zip files is the package revision 2. So you really need to go and then start learning that. That's the basic package. And then go back and check the main directory claiming your labor and see which ones have not been overridden so that you can study them too. But the elements of the package are in the main directory, but you should start with the revision folder, revision zip file, and go through there and then get on the Skype group if you have questions and do it there. Right now, the Skype group is diverting itself. It's spent all day trying to look up the certificate numbers in Fidelity.com. And none of this stuff we're using. They're over there playing with old methods. Only one guy was talking about putting his non-UCC together.
Yeah, I got my non-UCC, and I got it mailed to myself.
Okay.
And
that's the start.
I did this copy of the Social Security card document number. I used the number off the back of the Social Security card.
Okay.
I guess that's coming back to the...
Yes, we need, he does have the, for the liquidation, the endorsed certificate of live birth, the endorsed a copy of the Social Security card, and then any DD 214.
Okay, well, I don't have military, so.
We're really, I mean, we have to get down and do it. And in a way, it's just mainly secretarial work. Except
Sure.
Before we start doing that, we really need to understand what the purpose of each document is, and then once you know the purpose of each document, you can build the package.
Him up to get him all work.
Okay, thanks, Tom. That really helped.
Okay, you're still very soft.
No, I can look
over.
Yeah, I have. I've been wanting to get a new headset, so I guess I better.
Well, maybe your headset.
I had a big time. That was all. I just did that.
Yeah, I just did what you told me about setting the audio.
I just did. Hey, like, I don't know if these two out there, there's no good golf involved. No, if you make a good shot, they're gonna.
Okay, I've muted Harold because he's talking to somebody else. So do you have something to say?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see about this one.
Okay, it's Patrick. I'm on the line now.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Okay. One of the key things, you people need to go out and read the Constitution. I mean, really read it. Understand what it says. Okay? There are several places out there that basically people don't understand or never have looked at it to see what it really says. Okay? Basically, Article 1, Section 9, and Section 10. I've gone over Article 1, Section 10 with you, but basically you also need to understand Article 1, Section 9. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in a consequence of appropriations made by law. Okay? It has to be by law that this action is taking place. Prior to 1933, to be an individual, and basically one of the other things is you have to know that you are the federal government. The national government is the constitutional United States and the constitutional state republics. That's the national government. We, the people, are the federal government when we come of age. Okay? That's why when we stand in that capacity, and that's why when I told the Secret Service that basically I owned that car that they were driving, they knew damn well I did, because I am a federal government and I am the owner of the property, one of the owners of all the property that the national government is using. So I think that is also one of the key things why I'm standing in a slightly different capacity now after that interview with them. And also with the U.S. Marshals and the U.S. Postmaster. Because when we stand as a federal government, we stand over the national government. We stand over these commercial governments in the damn commercial court system. They're the foreigners. We are basically the federal government. And basically, as the federal government, we can issue federal warrants for arrest. Yeah. We were wanting to do warrants before. Now we're the ones that can issue the federal warrants. Direct the IRS, the de jure IRS now, to go and investigate. But we come in as the federal government. How I got onto that was basically going into the Miller Act. And in the Miller Act, it says, the Miller Act of 1935 is a federal law that requires contractors performing public work projects, okay, of any government building or public works facility to produce a performance bond as well as a labor and material payment bond in any contracts that exceed $100,000. Since the government construction projects are unable to protect themselves from non-payment with a traditional lien, the Miller Act was created to protect the subcontractors as well as the suppliers when dealing with projects owned by the federal government. Right there is telling us we are the owners of these contracts because we're the federal government. And then if you go into Anderson's Law Dictionary and look up the word federal, it says pertaining to a league or compact between independent sovereignties. Almost every one of the state constitution calls out the people as being the sovereignty of the state. It goes on in there and says the word national recognizes the state governments and the government of the union as distinct systems. So that's additional wording you might want to put into your documents, is that you are coming in as a federal government citizen. Standing over the commercial world. Now, in that capacity, then you have the power to basically order the Expatriation Act. You have the power to basically file charges against these title and nobility personnel that cause harm in the process out here because they're operating in insurrection against the 14th Amendment, Section 3. All of the amendments up until the 15th or through the 15th are for the federal government. The 16th on basically is for the commercial government people. In the federal government system, women can't vote. 18-year-olds can't vote. They can drink, but they can't vote. See, there's nothing in the de jure Constitution about drinking underage. That was a moral issue of the parents. Now, when's the government have the right to come in and start usurping the power of the family? All these moral issues and everything else that these diehard people come in and try and put onto the people. Commercial, religion. And everything out here is about bills of credit. You have to understand those documents. That House of Cards document that I put up there. You really have to understand that. If you can't sit down and basically put that aside and almost repeat everything that's on there, you're not ready. That's how important that is. You have to be able to stand up and recite this thing, not using cheat sheets or anything. Then you have the authority. I'm just about done with the prisoner item because there again, we have to go to the treasurer, Secretary of the Treasury, to the National Treasurer to have the funds processed through the Treasury UCC Contract Trust to release these commercial prisoners out of the system. Traffic tickets, I think we were taking them to the wrong place. I think I processed mine through, tried to process them through the clerk of the court. I think that was the wrong place that I was supposed to be going to. We got to go to the treasurer at the national level for our national certificates, UCC Contract Trust. More than likely, we're going to have to go to the treasurer of the state or process them through the county treasurer up to the treasurer of the state for all of our traffic ticket UCC Contract Trust on the driver's license or whatever. If when you get a public utility bill and you send that back to the treasurer or CFO of that public utility company as a bill of credit acknowledged and endorsed, and they don't process it, then I would turn to the Attorney General's office and file a complaint against them there. But you come in as a federal citizen, a federal government citizen, showing that you have the power to issue a federal warrant. Not a national warrant, but a federal warrant. The FBI is in the Federal Banking Investigation Division. They couldn't go after Hillary because basically she's operating in the commercial world. The outfit that should have gone after her should have been the IRS. I knew it. So anybody who wants to can file a charge with the IRS using the 3949A form 3949 against her. for tax evasion.
Hey, Patrick, I got a quick question about that.
Go ahead.
All right. Greetings. My name is Donnell. I appreciate all the information and all that you put out there. My question is, I sent an affidavit in to all the utility companies and my attorney general. This is prior to me learning about your system. But what you're saying makes so much sense. I sent the affidavit in basically stating I knew about their embezzlement, their theft, deception, extortion, and failure to discharge the debts pertaining to the 73rd Congress. And they haven't set off my debt. And basically,
they're not going to.
Okay, so that's what I need to file, that 3949A.
No.
Okay.
You need to do your bills as bills of credit.
Oh, okay. And actually, another question about that. I have the template that you have for the bills of credit. Now, do I place that on the back of the bill, or do I send that attached with the bill with the signature and dated as you have it up there?
Basically, I put a template up there to basically refer to the attachment. If the bill is blank on the back side, you can turn around and on the front side, you say see backside for the acknowledgement and endorsement of this bill of credit.
Okay, because I seen that template that you had it at a 45-degree angle, and it was acknowledging that.
Yeah, I put that on a IRS bill and set that off, but on a separate sheet, I put, because the back side of that bill was not blank. So I took an extra sheet and put the endorsement on an extra sheet and then attached it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and said, hey, here, I'm acknowledging, I'm not doing accepted for value. You don't accept anything. You acknowledge it. You accept something, you are taking on the liability.
Right. And
they are the ones that are the liable party, okay? We're the owners. We are the federal government. We own everything.
Right.
Not the national government or not the commercial government. They don't own anything. The commercial governments are just contractors out here, and we can fire our contractors anytime we want to.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because you had the right to contract. All right. So the non-UCC, I took your template. I filled in all my information. I've been studying your guide about the performance bonds and the labor bonds, because I know you said that the guys in black, they're going to be coming to see me, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be asking me questions if I understand that.
They're going to ask everybody questions, not just you, okay?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody needs to know that information that I put out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I understood how
okay.
Created.
Enough. Study and do it. Okay. Okay. So basically, that's where I'll be posting a couple additional documents up there. The templates for the window sticker for like the tax bill, showing that basically I put on the updated ones, I put just a second, I can pull it up here. I put as a federal government citizen of age and owner, I am standing over this U.S. contractor's bill of credit or whatever. Okay, this one I'm reading off of is the one for the tax. Or no, this was for a prisoner's release on this one. But it would be essentially the same on all of them, okay? You are the federal government. That's what gives you your authority, your hammer. We stand over them as the federal government. And we can issue federal warrants for their arrest if they do not comply. See? There had to be some means that we had the hammer over them. We tried to issue warrants before, but basically we weren't standing in the right government. We're the head government. We the people. As all the constitutions say, it's we the people. We give to these guys. They're inferior to us. And then the foreigners are basically inferior to inferior. They're just shitheads. They can't even follow any lawful laws. They're operating strictly under the damn commercial codes of law out here, under banking frauds, really. All these magistrate judges, female fat asses that are sitting around here. And there's a bunch of them, too. Thinking that, oh, yeah, I'm a magistrate judge. Yeah, I remember when I went into the service, basically the magistrate judge was a damn guy, and basically I went down and saw him at his house to basically, because I was going to head out of town for 5 days and get into the service. And I took the fall for the guys on drinking. Hell, I was just about 6 days from being 21. Then I took the hit. What the hell? But it wasn't no damn stinking female. No sitting around in jail. I went right to the magistrate. The way the law says you're supposed to. I didn't get hauled off to jail or anything like that. The way these damn bar attorneys, title of nobility, commercial lawyers that we got now, bar attorneys, that couldn't read the Constitution one bit, knowing that they've got a title of nobility, and then they're coming in and claiming that they are a de jure government office. That's in total violation of Article 3 of the 14th Amendment. Right there, if you stand up as the federal government, basically, in the court, if you get into court, basically say, hey, you want to mess with me? I'm ready to put my signature on a federal warrant for your arrest. As you're operating in a state of insurrection and you're impersonating a de jure office of the government, of the constitutional government. See, the people never understood, for the vast majority of the people in this country, they never understood that they had the right to turn around and draw money from the we the people's national treasury. We got an Eastern and we got a Western depository national treasure. But it's we the federal people's treasury, held by the national treasurer of the country. To sort of put some regulation and control over it for accessing and drawing the funds out. Like I said, prior to 1933, and the only way to draw the funds out of that treasury was it had to be by law. Well, if somebody wanted to do a draw against the treasury, they could petition their 2 state senators. Then they would go and get with the president pro tem of the Senate and pass a private law to allow the removal of so much credit from the treasury. This bill of credit process is by the law. They have the law to set up the bill of debt. They have to have a law to allow the bills of credit to be set off against the bills of debt. They don't have the power to come in and try and control us. We are the owners. And we have the power over them as being a federal government person. One of we the people of this country. It's our country. It's not the government's country. And it's definitely not this resurrection of the East India Company, commercial bankers' country. Just celebrated the Declaration of Independence. Basically, and nobody understands what the hell the damn Declaration of Independence is all about. It was a banking independence contract, treaty. Our forefathers declared independence from the commercial banking system. Everything that's going on today was going on in the colonies prior to the Declaration of Independence by the East India Company against the colonists of this country. Fraudulent court systems, incarceration, unable to pay the debt, paying the taxes for the English crown, usury, inflation, deflation in the monetary system, controlling the people, not giving them just payments in the process, keeping them in a state of involuntary servitude. If they don't set these things off, then they are trying to keep you in a state of involuntary servitude because you just put them on notice. Your fictional person is in servitude right now. But when you come in as the owner and order the set off and his payments, and see, all of our labors, we are a supplier under the Miller Act. We are supplying our labor into the process. We're acting as a subcontractor as well as the supplier of the labor. To create the credits. But we own those bonds. We own everything that is being constructed under this contractor's construction project. The contractors were entitled to some payment in the process out of the bonds, out of the performance bonds. If the contractors performed, then they got paid. But the contractors haven't been performing, and they've still been getting paid. And then, why do all these courts and attorneys want you to go to court? So that they can turn around and put a service claim in against your contract, your UCC trust contract, by way of the bankruptcy court, so it's not seen by you or anybody else, the IRS or anything. They're avoiding paying taxes on that because this is coming from the high interest performance bonds that are taxable. Now you can turn around and file charges against these title of nobility judges and bar attorneys. Have the IRS look into this. But you put it in as a federal order to them, as you are the federal government, and they are just national government. Okay, I hope to have a couple of these documents finished up and posted over to Tom, especially the prisoner one. Have that out for first thing in the morning, and the endorsement on it.
That's great.
But otherwise, everything else, just go in there and study, and basically, I don't need to sit and tell you everything, okay? You've got to think for yourself. I've given you the templates. Now you modify them appropriately. Listen to the call. Okay? And go over this information. Get on the damn Skype group or on the We the People site to talk and talk back and forth with somebody. Try and find somebody in your local area to where you get two minds thinking about this. In other words, get back to what you had to do in school and get 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, sitting down at the table, the study table, in study hall. And discuss this so you can get your homework done properly. This is your homework. It's not mine. Okay. Open her up for questions, Tom.
Okay, it's open.
Hello, this is Elizabeth. I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, as far as the stamp that we put on the bill of credit and the same way we did for the non-UCC filing at the bottom, as far as posting the stamp, we can do that ourselves, correct? Because I went to the post office.
Yes, you do it yourself.
Okay, because they wouldn't do it for me.
You use your 9-digit zip code, but you put your 2-digit state number in front of it. Like, in my case, Iowa stands for IA. So I put IA in front of the 9-digit zip code, and then behind it I put US. So now that's a total of 13 digits.
I did all of that. I meant as far as the stamp itself, just dating it. I mean, we can do that ourselves, correct?
Yes, you have to do that yourself. You're a private postmaster.
Okay, great. That's what I just wanted to find out for sure, because they wouldn't do it for me.
No, they're not going to.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
What happens when you get out of the system?
Say it again.
What happens when you get out of the system? Because I heard you say that...
It could be up to 21 days, 21 to 30 days.
I'm sorry, repeat that
because
again?
basically, because when you send it into Washington, D.C., from there, they've got to look it over, so that's 3 days after it's received, at least. Then it's 3 days travel to San Francisco or Cincinnati. So now from there, they've got 3 days there. Then it's 3 days out from there over to your state service center. And you got to throw weekends and everything else in on top of this. Okay? So basically, what do you get? About 5 or 6, 3 days in there, and then a couple of weekends, so that's another 4 days. So, shit, you're talking about close to 21 days before you might hear anything from your state Secret Service or FBI, IRS, or whoever. But I think I might have moved it a little faster if I would have come in the capacity of being a federal government ordering this to be done.
So when you're saying federal government now, so none of the other stuff that we've heard for years, people talking about the federal zone and the federal, when they refer to federal government.
They never understood the word federal.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, in a lot of cases, a lot of that was put out there by the deceivers, the bankers that got infiltrated the patriot community and got everybody totally off guard and going out there and doing the accepted for values and everything in the process, because you can't accept anything for value. You're accepting the liability. You acknowledge it as a bill of credit. And see, nobody out there in the patriot community has ever said anything about bills of credit.
No, you're the
But
first.
I mean, if this commercial government that we have can basically violate the 10th Amendment, the Article 1, Section 10, by having titles of nobility, we know that they also issue bills of attainder. They issue also letters of marque. They're breaking every one of the damn laws that are stipulations saying that the states can't do this in that Article 1, Section 10. So basically the only other thing in there is the bills of credit. That's what they're issuing to set off the bills of debt that they're creating. Because initially, with the de jure Constitution, there was never supposed to be any commercial banking system in this country. So there never would have been any bills of credit issued. That's what you people really need to understand. You don't need to know any other laws. America is founded upon our laws. We're not under the sheriff's laws of England or the county coroner of England or all that other bullshit out of England. This country set up our own system of government. And basically, the county was supposed to have its own de jure ecclesiastical court system of 3 judges. Your 3 supervisors or county commissioners of the county. And one of the other things was, basically, this was not supposed to be a 20 or 30 year lifetime occupation. This was supposed to be more along the lines of a lottery without doing a lottery. But 90% of the people that are in government there, in the national or in this commercial government, they couldn't get an honest day's job out there doing any labor whatsoever. They're just damn bloodsuckers, vampires, leeches, whatever you want to call them.
True.
Creating insurrection against the de jure federal government of this country. And all, like I said, all the amendments, okay, the Bill of Rights, all the way up through the 15th, basically are for we the people, the federal government. Those are our laws. All the statutes apply to the corporations to regulate and control them. All the codes of law are basically the commercial charges that the contractors have to try and rip us off to draw funds from the performance and the payment bonds that are under the contractor's control. Learn how the damn system really functions. Our founding fathers did one hell of a good job in setting this up. But between the founding fathers and our time frame, we had a bunch of other fathers that screwed it all up. And mothers.
So I have a question. The copies that we send up to the UCC contract in D.C., you said send a certified copy, a color copy of your social front and back endorsed, and a copy of your birth certificate, your certificate of live birth. And do I put that
certified copy issued from the state or the county, or your certificate of live birth? Same thing. If you've got a DD-214, you should have that on file down at the county military records book, and then you would take a certified copy of that from the county and submit that in if you have a military DD-214 or a military service document.
Okay, because I had my certificate of live birth authenticated, so I just send them the whole thing.
That, basically, you destroyed that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, you went and took it to another outfit to say that this is valid. You're the only one that can get that. That thing is authenticated right then and there. Okay. It's under 2 states. It's under the seal of the state you were born in and also under the Bureau of Vital Statistics. What more do you need? I don't know who the damn idiot was that came up with that authentication of that damn thing, because nobody ever has gotten anything that I know of using that damn thing that way.
Right. I haven't either. That's why I started searching, then I found this. So I understand. So I will work. And my driver's license and a copy of my driver's license, and then I put that stamp that I put on my certified. You can take the driver's license and go right to the to the state treasurer and terminate that UCC contract with the state.
Okay.
Certificate of title to your property. Take that and go to the treasurer of the state. Terminate that. Give it to the state treasurer. Okay. You come in as a federal government citizen and order them to terminate that. Why are you doing this as a federal government? Because now you're in compliance with the Expatriation Act. And if they don't comply, then you can issue a federal warrant against their ass.
Okay. So basically, I would just take my non-UCC up there that I've sent out to the.
You don't need to do the non-UCC. You need to do the non-UCC, but you don't need to take it up there with you. You can basically go in there and basically do the bill of credit endorsement and with that item and say, I want this UCC contract trust for this driver's license, for this certificate of title, for this marriage license, liquidated for the full value. And if you don't give me the full value, I will have charges. I will have a federal warrant issued against you.
Okay, and that federal warrant, how would I go about getting that just in case so I know how to do that?
Look it up.
Okay.
God, aren't you an adult? Can't you do something?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's no
what
problem.
It says about warrant. A warrant. A document that issues a complaint.
Okay, and on the bill of credit for the construction high interest taxable and the low interest taxable, how do I compute those two numbers that I need to add?
You don't need to compute them.
Okay. So what do I put in there? Nothing, or I just put
basically you say full liquidation. Unless you're doing a traffic ticket or something like that, and you know the value. Otherwise, you say for full liquidation.
Okay,
and I want a complete accounting. As I am the owner, I want a fucking complete accounting of all the construction charges against this construction project.
Okay.
Have you ever built a house? Have you ever done any construction out here to where you're supposed to be in charge, knowing how much all the 2x4s and everything else cost?
Right, right.
Okay.
So basically, if I was to use the bill of credit for a utility bill, then that's what I'll just put in there.
You basically put in the charge that you get a bill. You're going to basically order the set-off.
All right. That's all I need to know. I knew that, but I just needed to reaffirm because I see where you can switch what you need, but in those two spaces, I've seen the high interest and the low interest. I knew that if I wanted to do full liquidation, I'll put that, but say something for a bill, then I would, how would I fill that in? So that's all I need to know.
Well, basically you say, hey, I put 20 hours into figuring this thing out. I want 20 hours of pay.
Right.
Okay. And then I see it has a foreign grantor trust. I'll just use the 98 EIN number that I got and put in that space.
Well, that is basically the foreign grantor trust.
Okay. And then the EIN trust account at the bottom will be the same. It says per UCC EIN trust account number.
Yes, it's the 98. Okay, that's your main one that you're going to keep, even though right now there's a UCC contract trust against that number. We will liquidate that, but we will keep that 98 number as a bank routing number with the de jure treasury, with the National Treasury. Because we will be able to take all of our all of our receipts that we have. Those are receipts of credit that are due to us, and we can turn around and send those into our local IRS office.
Okay, yeah.
Using a bill of credit claim. Here, I paid these. Now I'm going to claim this as a bill of credit set off. The debt has to be set off. This contractor, whoever, hasn't set these bills off. The national debt is still out there. They haven't set it off. And see, they've used your money to go out and pay their shareholders. When they're supposed to be paying the damn bills out of the damn thing, they don't need any damn shareholders. If they're borrowing all the money from us, they're not borrowing it from the shareholders.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So since I already have a 98 EIN number, I haven't actually officially sent the registered mail to myself in the whole process. I can go ahead and use the bill of credit now then.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hello, Patrick.
Yeah.
I've been listening for a couple of weeks now, and what I'm getting is that you're actually showing them that you have reached the age of majority and that you are running your own life now by your paperwork and your standing. And these trusts are set up in such a way that they benefit us while we're still growing, and once we are able to stand on our own 2 feet, we have the power to cancel these things because
they're not benefiting you one bit.
Well,
okay, get that through your mind. They are not a fucking benefit to you whatsoever.
Right, but I'm saying if you never...
They're ripping you off. It's a benefit to them.
Right,
that's the problem.
Because people don't
They've
grow
got
up.
you believing that you're the one that's getting a benefit from their being nice to you, and they ain't fucking being nice to you.
Mm-hmm. Right, but I'm saying you're showing them that you are age of majority now, and you have the power to cancel.
I've been past the age of majority ever since I turned 21, okay? That has nothing to do with it. I have the knowledge of understanding. That's the key thing there. Most people don't have that knowledge.
Well,
they are they're an Ameri, and that's it. They're not an American. Can means one who has understanding. An American, a mayor, prince of the land, individual. Can, one who has understanding. I'm an American. I don't know what most of you other people are, but I know I'm an American because I've got the understanding of how the damn banking system in this country works. How it's worked all the way through the Bible. This system is nothing new. It's been done the same process, commercial and de jure banking systems throughout history in the Bible.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, but I don't think the age of majority has anything to do with age, because when they set up the birth certificate trust, you have 7 years to claim it, so they expect you to be standing on your own by age 7, and most people are not. They're just now starting school at that age. And there's people out here
it was 21. Okay, it was 21.
Still trying to get a benefit from these people, and they're not taking care of themselves, and they're not standing on their own feet. They're still not the age of majority, even though in their 60s and 70s.
They are of the age of majority, okay? 21 was supposed to be the age for a man. A woman, basically, when she got married, she was supposed to be given her dowry into the marriage estate.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to have worked until they screwed up and fucked over the families in this country and got the women to think that they need to start wearing the pants and to put the men in skirts and everything else and throw them in the back room. Take the control of the estate away from the man. No, the man was supposed to be the estate owner, and the woman was supposed to be under his protection. Watch the birds and the bees. The queen doesn't leave the hive. The males in the bird kingdom are the ones that have all the flashy colors and everything. The women are supposed to be put in the sort of the background, protected by the man. That no, the women want to be out there wearing all the fancy colors and everything, and basically usurping and putting themselves out as whores and everything else out on the street, pimping themselves out in the process. They screwed up the whole human nature understanding in this country and in this world.
That's for sure.
Patrick, question.
Yes.
I have gotten a large ticket item, and unfortunately, this where I'm going with this large ticket item, even though I'm going to release the credits on it, does it have to be made in America, or can it be also foreign and sold here? And does it really matter?
It should be made here, okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. That was my only question.
Yeah, fuck that foreign automobiles and shit.
Oh no, it's not an automobile. It's a little bit more than that.
Well, get something easy that you can get and see the quick turnaround on it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Don't try and
We'll
make
comply.
these things exotic. I mean, first thing out of the bag, you're trying to do some damn exotic thing?
Okay. I see what you're talking about. It's just a house.
Well, there's plenty of mobile homes out here that basically on wheels and everything else that are made here in this country.
Okay.
Now, if it's made in Canada, yeah, it's still under the same system.
France.
What the fuck do you want anything from France for?
Okay.
Those
Okay,
fucking
thank you very
winos
much.
over there, they couldn't make anything worthwhile.
Oh.
There was only
Okay.
a few good ones. Lafayette was probably one of the only good ones out of France.
Yeah, you're saying the truth on that one. Well, thank
Okay.
you, Patrick. I appreciate that. And I'm putting your everything to work. I'm also got picking up a car this weekend.
You got to get it in, and then they will contact you, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Patrick, I already did get my package out to the UCC Treasury Contract Trust. I ordered a car as well. I did the bill of credit release for that. The next thing I think I have to do is I have an IRS tax lien. I thought that would be something that would get done in the accounting, but do you think it's a good idea to just pepper them with item after item like this, just to let them, just to show these guys that, I know what I'm talking about and I'm doing the right things? Should I submit the bill of credit endorsement for the IRS tax lien the same?
Yeah, or you can send it up to your local IRS office if it's
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you got an IRS tax lien, basically go right to your local office.
Okay. Now this has writing on the back, so I should do the see attached sheet.
Yes.
And then send that.
Print out the acknowledgement and bill of credit, endorsement, acknowledgement, and return the bill into them to set off that value from the performance bond, and then basically put down an additional $10,000, $20,000 to be drawn from the payment bond for your labor.
Okay. Well, this is $60,000 tax lien. Just to
Well,
get
put in a claim for $30,000 in labor. What the hell?
Okay.
You're the one that supplied the damn labor to the damn thing. You got to get paid for your labor.
You said it.
What about it? So
because the whole thing is, you people don't even understand that basically ever since 1969. Well, after Nixon got in there, they devalued the value of silver. One silver dollar equaled one Federal Reserve dollar back then. Now it equals one silver dollar equals 17 Federal Reserve dollars. So all of your extra labor is being held under these labor bonds. That's how you get your compensation labor back.
So once I start getting my credits to this 98 EIN number, how do I get them out? Do I actually go to I know I have a foreign trust set up, so I know I would probably go somewhere like Panama.
You do not set up any foreign trust. You put it in a private estate, or a private enterprise, or a private foundation. You do not do a trust. That's fucking English bullshit. And you'll fuck yourself over on that.
Alright.
Who sets up a trust? Fucking attorneys do. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop listening to all those fucking trust shit heads out there.
Okay.
That's what's gotten us into trouble, setting up all these UCC contract trust. And it wasn't for our benefit, it was for their benefit to use our assets, our inheritance, as their collateral to make money, not doing anything that's sitting on their ass.
So I can take my 98 EIN number and open up a foundation there.
No. You basically do a non-UCC filing in your private records, in your Bible.
Okay.
Under your 13-digit registered mail number. Read what it says about in that secret, what the hell is that damn document?
Secret liens.
No, shit. It was...
Yeah, if it's on We the People, I'll read it. No problem. I have no problem reading.
Are you talking about seek but you will not find?
No, seek but you may not find, okay? To where it talks about the UCC 9 and how the non-UCCs are utilized in the process.
Okay, I have that, but I haven't read it yet. But all right, I got you.
About 47 pages or something like that.
Right, it's like in an old book, just a copy.
But you need to be able to read between the lines to see what it's really saying.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, call tonight, Tom.
Oh, I have a question. I have one last question. With the registered mail, do I put North Carolina Republic from? Do I put Republic from, or and then in the 2, do I put the NC, my 13-digit number? I forgot about that. Was a little small question I forgot to ask.
Well, when you do the registered mail number, that's a 13-digit number. When you put and post it under the global stamp, you put your 13-digit post office, okay, SC or whatever, South Carolina, 9-digit number, zip code, and then U.S. over the top line on the stamp, and then over the middle line, you put your date that you posted that in red, and then underneath that, you sign it.
Okay.
All 3 lines over the stamp.
Hello. You're on. Good luck. Did you ask a question?
So, not the sticker, but the white piece that you fill out, it has from and to. I seen on your template you had the NC on the from, and you didn't have it on the to. And also,
however you want to fill it out so that the mail gets back to you. Okay,
So
don't get
it doesn't
fancy.
matter.
Don't try and be one of these fucking diehard Republic people out here that don't know their ass from the hole in the ground what the hell the zip code and everything else really stands for. Trying to usurp the damn system. Oh, I'm close to this area, but I'm not quite there. Type scenario. I'm on the outer islands of Timbuktu, but I'm not really here on the mainland. Come on, people, get your head out of your ass.
So that 13-digit number, me being a postmaster, that's what matters now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Appreciate it. Because I knew that sound crazy using that bracket shit and all of that, but it doesn't sound right. But all right, now I'm a postmaster once I do this.
Never added up.
No, it didn't
Nobody
make
ever
sense.
got anything from all that shit. I mean, for 40 years, people have been doing the same shit over and over again. I can't understand. I listen to half these damn talk shoes out here, and they're still arguing shit in court. Those damn codes of law don't apply to us. Why the fuck are you using them? You use them against them. It's their laws. When they violate their laws.
Okay.
But there's only certain ones that we need to reference. Title 15, USC Section 1 and 2. Title 46, against the shipping. Basically, right there in Title 46, Chapter 573, it says that the vessels are supposed to be terminated and liquidated at the age of 25. That's when, in this country, you were supposed to be declared a totally free man. Then you could stand as a representative in the national government. Because you are not under any debt. But none of these damn senators or anything like that are lawful in that capacity. They're still debtors. So how can they represent anybody in this country? They can't. Because they're not debt-free. They still owe their soul to somebody else. People want to claim that they're sticking by the government of this country, by the Constitution, by the Founding Fathers, by the Declaration of Independence. Bullshit. They haven't stood by this shit for years. Because they didn't understand what the hell it meant anyway. They all claim to be followers of Jesus. They don't even know what the hell Jesus really tried to tell people. He threw all these shitting guys out of the temple. And now we've allowed them all back into the temple. What the hell? How can you be a follower of Jesus if you're going against everything that he tried to tell you not to do?
That's right.
Patrick, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you send your birth certificate into the Washington, D.C., is it the all caps birth certificate, or is it upper and lowercase birth certificate?
I told you before, don't worry about how the name is. The name is nothing more than a shadow of your autograph, of your living name.
Okay, because I've noticed that I have a certified copy. When I requested a certified copy of my birth certificate from the state, they sent me one, and it was in all caps, and it said certified living birth certificate. But I have one from a long time ago that has all the information on it. It's in upper and lower case, and it just says birth certificate.
It all depends on how they're printing it out. Okay? You probably got it from the county with the all capital.
Okay. So it doesn't really
No,
matter
you
which one
just
I
use
submit.
it. If they send it to you, you send that in. Okay? It's on bonded notepaper. It's a bank note that is really a bill of credit. That's all you need to know. Fuck the name. I don't want to hear anybody else bring up this capital bullshit or small letters or anything like that. If the name matches you, that's it. It's a done deal.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Patrick, in the last call I heard you, there was a guy, he was a contractor, I guess he had a problem with a house he was building or something, and you were telling them that every EIN has a performance bond and a payment bond, right? And
right.
I think he understood it afterwards, but my question is, in my non-UCC, do I include all my EINs that I've had for my businesses and all that stuff? If I had a nonprofit and all that?
If you miss some on your UCC, just wait until they come and see you and then hand the others over to them.
Okay, but those should be included in there, right? All of those.
Yeah, you're going to get rid of them, so why? You don't need to go and make another UCC out of it. You just hand them over to them. Say, liquidate these suckers also. There's always going to be something you're going to forget. And then basically you're going to think about it afterwards and say, oh, hell, I forgot that one.
Hello?
Then when they come and see you, you just say, hey, I forgot this one. Add this to your list.
Okay. The other question
Okay.
was, yes, do we need to notify the post office that we own that box?
No.
No? Okay. All right. That's it. That was my question.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, Patrick.
Yeah.
Should we add in to our paperwork we're going to send in that we're coming in as a federal person on our cover sheet?
We're coming in as the federal government citizen of age. Okay?
Okay.
Age and knowledge, if you want to say that. I'm coming in of age and knowledge.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay? You've
Yep,
awoken.
thank you.
You're now awake. You're now fully awake. You know who the fuck you are.
What if a person has a warrant out for them?
Find out what the warrant is and basically do a bill of credit for it.
Yeah, that bill of credit.
Failure to appear.
I just told you. Have somebody get a copy of the warrant and basically the charge, and basically you had an initial charging instrument. Do a bill of credit on that and send it in.
Thank you.
Okay.
So do I need to attention that to the CFO or just send it back into the PO box that they sent to you?
For what?
For the bill of credit.
If it's a public utility company or basically a hospital or something like that, yeah, you go to the CFO. Otherwise, you go, if it's a state item, you go to the county treasurer and have them forward it to the state treasurer to order the set-off.
Hold on, let me write that down. County treasurer to the state treasurer. County.
Yes.
To the state. Okay, cool.
Hey, Patrick,
I sent in a bill of credit for a ticket, the endorsement, and I haven't gotten anything back, and it's still on the court.
Right. You may have to turn around and take it over to the treasurer and run it up that way.
Okay, so the treasurer of
Okay.
the county or the treasurer of the state?
Yeah, you could forward it right to the treasurer of the state and say you're coming in as a American government citizen and you're ordering them to take care of this. If they don't comply, they're in violation of the Expatriation Act and basically also in violation of the 14th Amendment, Article 3.
Should
And
I
also
send in
in violation of their own code, Title 15 USC Section 1 and 2.
Okay. Should I also do a 3949A?
Not until they fuck up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, cool.
That's a fuck-up document.
Well, they refused to disclose their EIN to me, so that's kind of a fuck-up right there. So.
No, that's the damn shitheads that they are, okay?
Okay. I guess I could do a
also,
3949A.
right now,
for...
if you ever went into court, you can turn around and file a 3949A against the court and against the county attorney. And basically, if they did not set those things off, then you can put a claim in to the IRS to go and check the bankruptcy records, or then putting a charge against your UCC Contract Trust construction performance bond.
That's what it is. They check the bankruptcy records. Okay, I didn't realize that. You
they can go
today,
into the bankruptcy system and then see they don't pay any taxes when it goes through bankruptcy. They come in trying to claim that they're a creditor.
Okay.
See, they're trying to claim that they gave you service and they didn't give you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Right. See, that's where the fraud comes in, okay?
Okay, and that court has a direct line to the bankruptcy system since they're a court and since they got all their buddies that are...
Oh, yes.
British
The
agents.
whole bar association is tied through the bankruptcy system in this country. And that's what Harold and a couple of us other guys, we went out to the bankruptcy court in Washington, D.C., and we went through a training session for attorneys there that they have on their website there, and it shows you exactly how to go about filing a claim in as an attorney against somebody's account in bankruptcy. See, we've done all this shit. We know what the hell the game is. We're just now pulling it all together, and the key thing was, the two key things was understanding non-UCC and also understanding that everything out here that we get, all these bills are really bills of credit, that all we have to do is order their set-off. And that we are the owner, and that they are nothing but a contractor, and we can fucking fire any contractor we want to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, call the night, Tom.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll get it right up.
Okay.